They told us these guns were finished, done, buried, pawn shops couldn't move them, collectors ignored them, and most of us forgot they even existed. But in 2025, they're back, and they're hotter than ever. The rifles that built deer season, the shotguns that fought wars, the revolvers that went from cheap junk to four-figure treasures. These aren't the new polymer toys flooding gun stores. These are the forgotten legends, the ones that refused to stay dead. This is the list of comebacks nobody saw coming. 10 guns dragged out of the shadows and reborn as the hottest steel and walnut on the market today. And trust me, you won't believe what made it to number 1. Number 10. M1 Carbine Auto Ordnance. If the M1 Garand was the heavyweight champ of World War II, the M1 Carbine was the scrappy kid brother everyone counted on. Light, fast, and reliable, it armed more American soldiers than any other rifle of the era, over 6 million built. From Normandy to Okinawa, this little carbine was there. Then, it faded. By the early 2000s, original carbines were commanding collector prices, often pushing past $2,000, while cheap reproductions had spotty quality. For a while, it felt like this once-beloved rifle was headed for permanent retirement. Enter Auto Ordnance. Their faithful reproduction put the carbine back in shooters' hands. 18-inch barrel, Parkerized finish, walnut stock, and that classic short-stroke gas system that runs smooth. It's a rifle you can actually shoot, not just admire behind glass. Today, new models run around $1,200, and clean originals, they've nearly doubled in value over the last decade. Forgotten? Not anymore. The M1 Carbine is back, and proving that legends don't age, they just wait for a second chance. Number 9. Ithaca 37 Featherlight. Some shotguns earn a reputation. The Ithaca 37 built a legacy. Marines dragged it through the Pacific jungles in World War II, cops carried it through the turbulent streets of the 60s, and hunters swore its reliability. The secret? That bottom eject system. Truly ambidextrous, smooth, and practical before tactical was even a buzzword. By the 1980s, Ithaca Gun Company collapsed, and the 37 nearly went with it. Later models had spotty quality, and for years your best shot at owning one went digging through estate sales. It looked like this workhorse's story was over. Then, in 2005, Ithaca came roaring back. The new Featherlight models are machined from solid steel blocks, polished with modern precision and built to outlast most pump guns on the rack. Prices start near $900, and demand has surged. Clean originals have doubled in nearly 5 years. The comeback? Simple. Same sole, zero compromises. Number 8. Walther PPK. Few pistols in history can stop a conversation just by name, and the Walther PPK is one of them. Since 1931, it's been the gentleman's pistol. Slim, steel, and deadly precise. German police carried it, Cold War officials trusted it, and thanks to Hollywood, it became the only gun you could mention at a cocktail party without raising eyebrows. Then it disappeared. In 2012, after Smith & Wesson ended their licensing run, the PPK vanished from American shelves. For 7 years, it was ghost steel, overpriced imports, shady knockoffs, and frustrated buyers left chasing scraps. But in 2019, it came home. Walther USA started building them in Arkansas with the same all-steel frame, fixed barrel accuracy, and that iconic decocker slide. Suddenly, the ghost was back. Now running about $850, the PPK isn't just surviving, it's thriving. A pistol that refuses to fade, proving legends don't retire, they reload. Number 7. Colt Diamondback. For decades, the Colt Diamondback lived in the shadow of its big brother, the Python. Same sleek lines, same vent rib barrel, same glossy finish, but scaled down on Colt's D-frame and chambered in 22 LR or 38 Special. Smooth triggers, target sights, impeccable balance, it had everything going for it. Yet, collectors shrugged. Gun shows in the early 2000s saw Diamondback sitting unsold, dismissed as Python's little cousin. But that's the twist. As Pythons exploded in price, shooters circled back. What they found was a revolver that delivered all the craftsmanship and style without the insane price tag. In just 5 years, values have tripled, especially in the 22 versions once laughed off as plinkers. Colt hasn't reissued the Diamondback, meaning every single one on the market is original. No more hiding in the Python shadow, the Diamondback comeback is here, and collectors are fighting for them. Number 6. Ruger Security 6. The Ruger Security 6 was never flashy, and that's exactly why people slept on it. From the early 70s through the late 80s, this revolver was built like a tank. Stainless or blued, barrel lengths from snub to 6 inches, chambered in .357 Magnum or .38 Special, it wasn't picky. You could feed it Magnum loads all day and it would just keep chewing without complaint, but that workhorse image cost it fame. No movie cameos, no Grail gun hype. By the 2000s, the Security 6 was collecting dust, overshadowed by Ruger's own GP100 and ignored at gun shows. Now, the tables have turned. With Colt and Smith revolvers priced into the stratosphere, shooters have rediscovered the 6 as the sleeper hit of the revolver world. Clean examples that once sat unwanted are now commanding double the money, and they vanish quick. The forgotten workhorse is finally being treated like the thoroughbred it always was. Number 5. Marlin 336 3030. Few rifles scream American deer camp like the Marlin 336. Since 1948, this 30-30 lever gun has dropped more whitetails than most hunters can count. Compact, fast cycling, and built for the woods, it was the definition of a working rifle. Then came the fall. Remington bought Marlin in 2007 and the quality nosedived. Rifles were shipping with rough machining, poor fit, and reliability issues. By 2020, many shooters wrote the 336 off as dead weight. But Ruger wasn't about to let an icon die. When it took over in 2020, the 336 was reborn. The new models feature cold hammer forged barrels, precision machined steel receivers, and gorgeous walnut stocks. They don't just look the part, they shoot straighter and run smoother than anything Marlin had built in decades. Prices start around $700, and clean vintage models have climbed steadily. The 336 comeback proves American lever action heritage is alive and well. Number 4. Winchester Model 1894 3030. Say lever action, and most people picture one rifle, the Winchester 94. Born in 1894, it became the deer hunter's best friend, the cowboy's companion, and the rifle hanging in more cabins than any other. Chambered in .30-30, it earned its reputation one buck at a time. With over 7 million made, it's not just a rifle, it's part of American culture. But legends stumble. In 2006, Winchester shut down its New Haven plant, and suddenly the 94 was gone. Prices tanked, and for a while it looked like the gun that built deer season was finished. Bargain racks were full of them, with pre-64 models sitting under $500. Not anymore. The market flipped hard. Clean pre-64s are now breaking $1,200, and new production rifles vanish from shelves almost instantly. The Winchester 94 isn't just back, it's proof that some icons never really die. They just wait for hunters to remember what made them kings. Number 3. Colt Python. For decades, the Colt Python was the crown jewel of American revolvers. Introduced in 1955, it had a blued finish so deep it looked like liquid metal, and a trigger so smooth it felt like breaking glass. Carried by cops, coveted by collectors, it earned the title Combat Magnum, and it lived up to it. Then in 2005, Colt pulled the rug. Overnight, Pythons went from gun stores to safe queens. Prices exploded. Pristine examples that once sold for $1,200 were suddenly fetching $3,000 to $5,000, with rare variants climbing even higher. For years, most shooters couldn't even dream of owning one. But in 2020, the king returned. Built with modern stainless steel, tighter machining, and the same unmistakable sole, the new Pythons are stronger, smoother, and just as beautiful. Today they start around $1,500, and unlike the old days, you can actually take one to the range without guilt. Number 2. Henry Lever Action. For years, Henry was the quiet kid in the corner of the lever action world. Winchester had the heritage, Marlin had the deer camps, and Henry? They built rifles that looked gorgeous, cycled smooth, and felt like heirlooms the day you pulled them out of the box. But one thing kept them from legend status: no side-loading gate. For lever fans, that was a deal breaker. Then, in 2019, Henry finally gave shooters what they'd been begging for: a side gate. Overnight, the underdog wasn't following anymore, they were leading. The Big Boy Steel, the Long Ranger, these rifles didn't just compete, they embarrassed the giants who had lost their way. Starting around $800, Henry's side gate rifles are already climbing in collector value. The message is clear. While others fumbled, Henry sharpened their edge. And now, they're sitting on the lever action throne, and nobody's pushing them off. Number 1. Desert Eagle. The Desert Eagle isn't just a pistol, it is a statement. When it hit the scene in the 1980s, nobody had ever seen anything like it. This wasn't your average sidearm, it was a hand cannon chambered in cartridges that belonged in a rifle, .357 Magnum, .44 Magnum, and the jaw-dropping 50 Action Express. It kicked like a beast, weighed nearly 5 pounds, and instantly became a pop culture icon. Movies, video games, posters, the Desert Eagle was everywhere. But here's the thing, most shooters laughed it off. Too heavy, too impractical, too over the top. And when production moved overseas, the quality slipped. By the 2000s, the Eagle wasn't feared, it was mocked. Then, Magnum research brought it home. American built again with tighter tolerances and precision machining, the Desert Eagle went from meme to masterpiece. The new models group like hunting rifles and chew through Magnums with shocking accuracy. Starting at around $1,800, demand is climbing fast. This isn't just a comeback, it's the most outrageous hand cannon of our time, reborn and roaring louder than ever. That's the list, 10 forgotten guns that stomped back when nobody expected it. From battlefield icons to revolvers once sold for pocket change, every one of these comebacks proves the old saying, steel never truly dies. Now, I want to hear from you. Which comeback shocked you the most? And more importantly, do you have a story with one of these? Maybe you carried it years ago, hunted it back in the day, or let one go before prices exploded. Share your experience in the comments. Those real stories are what make these comebacks matter. Tap that like button if you enjoyed the ride, and I'll see you in the next one.